Have you ever stopped to think about the humble toothbrush sitting in your bathroom? It's one of those everyday objects we all use without a second thought. But its history is far more fascinating than you'd expect. From ancient twigs to modern electric marvels, the toothbrush has a story that spans thousands of years, filled with quirky inventions, cultural clashes, and surprising innovations. Today, we're diving into the forgotten history of the toothbrush, how it was born, who shaped it, and why it took centuries to become the tool we know today. Stick around because you'll never look at your toothbrush the same way again. And if you love uncovering the hidden stories of everyday objects, hit that subscribe button and let's get started. Let's travel back to around 3000 BCE, to the cradle of civilization, ancient Egypt. Believe it or not, the earliest toothbrushes weren't brushes at all. They were sticks, known as chew sticks. These were simple twigs from specific trees like the Salvadora persica or the toothbrush tree. Egyptians would chew one end of the stick until it frayed into a fibrous brush, then rub it against their teeth to clean them. This wasn't just a random habit. Oral hygiene was a big deal in ancient Egypt, where bad breath could ruin your social status. Tomb paintings even show people using these sticks, proving that dental care was a priority long before modern dentistry. But Egypt wasn't alone. Across the ancient world, other cultures had their own versions of the chew stick. In Mesopotamia, people used similar twigs, often soaked in water to soften them. In ancient India, texts like the Ayurveda mention neem sticks for cleaning teeth, valued for their natural antibacterial properties. Meanwhile, in Africa, tribes used sticks from the miswak tree, which is still used today in some regions. These early tools weren't just about cleaning. They were tied to religious and social customs, where a clean mouth was a sign of purity and respect. What's fascinating is how universal this idea was. Despite being oceans apart, ancient societies all came up with the same basic concept: a stick to scrub your teeth. But these chew sticks had limitations. They were single-use, required constant chewing, and weren't exactly convenient. It would take thousands of years for the toothbrush to evolve into something closer to what we use today. So what changed? Let's find out. Fast forward to China in the late 1400s during the Ming Dynasty. This is where the toothbrush, as we know it, began to take shape. Around 1498, Chinese inventors created the first true toothbrush with bristles. Instead of chewing a stick, they took a piece of bamboo or bone and drilled small holes into it. Then they inserted bristles made from the stiff hairs of pigs or boars, which were tough enough to scrub teeth but soft enough not to damage gums. This was a game changer. The design was practical, reusable, and could be mass-produced, making it a staple in Chinese households. But why pig hair? It was abundant, durable, and readily available. The Chinese were already using animal hair for brushes in calligraphy and painting, so applying the same idea to dental care was a natural leap. These early toothbrushes spread along trade routes reaching parts of Asia and the Middle East. By the 1500s, travelers to China, like European merchants, were noting this curious tool in their journals, describing it as a strange but effective way to keep teeth clean. However, the toothbrush wasn't an instant global hit. In Europe, dental hygiene was less prioritized, and many people still used cloth rags, salt, or even their fingers to clean their teeth. The Chinese toothbrush was seen as exotic and unnecessary by some, and it took centuries for it to catch on. But this invention laid the foundation for the modern toothbrush, proving that a simple idea could change daily life. By the 1600s, Europe was starting to wake up to the idea of oral hygiene, thanks to trade with Asia. The toothbrush began appearing in elite circles, but it wasn't the bamboo and pig hair model. European craftsmen, particularly in France and England, started making their own versions, often using more luxurious materials. Wealthy Europeans used toothbrushes with handles made of silver, ivory, or even gold, with bristles still sourced from boar hair. These were status symbols as much as hygiene tools, and owning one showed you were wealthy and sophisticated. In 1780, an Englishman named William Addis took the toothbrush to the next level. The story goes that Addis, imprisoned for causing a riot, was frustrated with the rags used for teeth cleaning in jail. Using his resourcefulness, he saved a bone from his meal, drilled holes in it, and persuaded a guard to give him some bristles. He threaded the bristles through the holes, creating a makeshift toothbrush. After his release, Addis refined the design and started manufacturing toothbrushes, founding what would become one of Britain's leading toothbrush companies. By the 1800s, his factory was producing thousands of toothbrushes, making them more affordable and accessible to the middle class. This was a turning point. Toothbrushes were no longer just for the elite. Dentists began recommending them, and by the mid-1800s, toothbrushes were a common sight in European and American households. But there was a problem. Those boar hair bristles weren't exactly hygienic. They retained moisture, harbored bacteria, and often fell out. The toothbrush needed another leap forward, and that came with a revolutionary new material. Enter the 20th century, where science changed the toothbrush forever. In 1938, a company called DuPont introduced nylon, a synthetic fiber that was strong, flexible, and quick-drying. An American firm, Dr. West's, used nylon to create the first modern toothbrush with synthetic bristles called the Miracle Tuft. Unlike boar hair, nylon bristles were hygienic, durable, and could be made in different thicknesses for soft or firm brushes. This was a massive step forward, and by the 1950s, nylon bristled toothbrushes were the standard. Around the same time, toothbrushes started getting colourful. Manufacturers began experimenting with plastic handles in bright colours and ergonomic shapes, making them more appealing and comfortable. The 1960s brought another leap, the electric toothbrush. Invented in Switzerland in 1954 by Dr. Philippe Gay-Wug, the first commercial electric toothbrush, the Broxodent, hit the market in 1960. It used a vibrating head to mimic brushing motions, promising a deeper clean. While expensive at first, electric toothbrushes became a hit, especially as battery-powered models emerged in the 1980s. Today, toothbrushes come in every imaginable form: manual, electric, smart brushes with apps, even ones with built-in timers. But it all traces back to those nylon bristles and plastic handles that made dental care accessible and effective for billions. Before we wrap up, here are some fun facts about the toothbrush's history. Did you know that during World War II, soldiers were issued toothbrushes as part of their kits, spreading their use globally? Or that the average person spends about 1,000 hours brushing their teeth in a lifetime? And here's a quirky one. In the 1700s, some Europeans used soot or salt as toothpaste, paired with their fancy silver toothbrushes. The toothbrush's journey from a chewed stick to a high-tech gadget shows how a simple idea can evolve over millennia. It's a testament to human ingenuity, driven by the universal desire for a clean, healthy smile. Today, the toothbrush is a $7 billion industry, with millions of designs sold worldwide. Yet its origins remain rooted in those ancient twigs. So the next time you pick up your toothbrush, remember the thousands of years of history behind it, from Egyptian chew sticks to Chinese bamboo brushes to modern electric marvels. What's the weirdest thing you've ever used to clean your teeth? Drop it in the comments below, and let's keep the conversation going. If you enjoyed this dive into the forgotten history of the toothbrush, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell for more hidden stories of everyday objects. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.